what's left inside the spark that's dying, the flame denied. Step up, the collar's in your chest. You were made for more than a rest. Stand tall, the silence breaks. It's in the fire, your soul awakes. You can't crawl through life asleep. The mountain's yours, but it runs deep. No one's coming to save your climb. It's you, your will, your borrowed time. Ignite the fire within. Let the thunder rise again. From the dust we begin. Through the storm, through the sand. Raise your hands to the sky above. Feel the power, the wrath, the love. Ignite, ignite the fire within. Every heart beats a battle cry. Every failure fuels the high. Fear's a lion dressed in skin. You can't lose if you don't give in. The forge of life, it burns so loud, shaping strength from pain and doubt. And when you stand in the light of one, you'll know your war's already won. You can't crawl through life asleep. The mountain's yours, but it runs deep. No one's
Welcome in, guys. Welcome back, my beautiful Tater Nation. It's me, of course, your friendly neighborhood potato, coming to you from underground, where the temperature is stable, the rent is cheap, and apparently the electrical grid is still more stable than it is some places above ground. And today we're going to be digging into a question a lot of people haven't even thought about yet. Could areas like Lake Tahoe actually start struggling to provide enough electricity? And if so, why? And you know us potatoes, we have lots and lots of eyes, and we like watching all the interesting things that humans do up top. And of course, our motivational quotes today: civilizations don't usually collapse all at once. Sometimes they flicker first. And Bruce Lee's quote is, "The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus." Well, apparently we're using that again this week because I forgot to change it. And welcome in, guys. Appreciate you, Homestead. Appreciate you starting to chat off. Hey, Jesse V. I think it's been a bit since I've seen you in the chat, so thank you very much for joining me today. Prentice, as always, appreciate you. Welcome in, Tater Nation, mashers, Starchborn, and newcomers alike. Like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to switch your chats and let the fun begin. All right. So let me get into some things that are funny, of course, to start our day off as normal. All right, let's get over this chat here. This one is pretty funny. I'm sure a few of my subscribers will enjoy this one here. To my teacher who said that I'd never be good at poetry because of my dyslexia. Look at me now, Mrs. Alice. Of course, if I could turn the sound on.
Great job. Awesome. Awesome work.
His facial expressions are always so funny. If you don't recognize that one, that's Leonardo Capero on Facebook. I've shown him a few times here. This one is hilarious. This one I relate to way too much sometimes. Hey, Vosh, good to see you. What a time to come in at. That's some beautiful poetry. Yeah. This is funny. So me trying to exaggerate by saying I've been doing this work for 10 years and then realizing that it's been 15. Wait. Oh my gosh. My goodness. It's been that long. That was kind of me the other day when we were talking about the year on Discord. Again, thank you guys for being what you are for me, and I really appreciate everything that you guys do for me, especially that birthday, that anniversary of Discord. I'm getting close to the year anniversary of YouTube even. So this one here isn't so much funny as concerning. This one is a bridge in Texas, as I understand it, a railroad bridge. And it was burning over the week. And obviously this is the first time I'm getting a chance to report on it. But this has collapsed. You can see how it's just completely lit up on fire. And it's collapsed since then. But
Trestle Bridge just south of 13th Avenue in Canyon. This is south of Canyon, but not by far. This guy's going to be burning for a long time.
So obviously it was when it was first starting to kind of light up. But yeah, it's concerning. Hey, Beatrix, good to see you. Potato. And then on the on my other chat it says good night. It says it's translated from good night or to good night. That's interesting. Good to see you, Beatrix. Thank you very much for the engagement. Appreciate you. But if you live in Texas, I hope this doesn't impact you too much, because this is, from what I've understood, from what I've dug into and gathered about this particular bridge, it's a fairly large main line in and out of certain parts of Texas. So hopefully that's not a big deal there for you. This one's kind of funny. This guy's always pretty funny. Ryan Kelly Comedy. He does a bunch of different kinds of skits here. Let me
not going bueno, my dude.
Sorry,
Turns out
hold
one
on.
of our
Goodness, if I don't boomer it all up today. All right, here you go.
Hey, California, what's going on, buddy?
not going bueno, my dude. Turns out one of our city's mayors is a Chinese spy.
What?
Yeah, Eileen Wang, mayor of Arcadia, California. Turns out she's totally a Chinese agent, like was arrested and admitted to it and everything.
Oh my gosh.
That's not even the craziest one we found. How about Jai Beiju, we arrested and convicted for operating illegal biolabs. He sold over 1 million faulty COVID tests, which just seemed to be a side hustle, as he had genetically engineered mice that could transmit human diseases, as well as refrigerators filled with, like, HIV, the deadliest form of malaria, and Ebola.
Good
Can't
gravy.
imagine what he was up to with that.
What?
Yeah, I did not see this coming, but turns out we're getting a sequel. Cold War II, Electric Boogaloo.
Hey, California, what's
Not
going
as funny as I thought it was. This guy does do some funny skits, though, for sure. All right, so let me see. This one's actually pretty funny, but first, Homestead says that was 20 minutes from me. I watched it fall online, the bridge. That's 20 minutes, so that will probably impact you more than likely. Hopefully not too much. That's concerning, though, for sure. Hey, Jess the Shepherdess. Appreciate the engagement. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Welcome in, welcome in. All right, let's see. So this is actually pretty funny. So it says, not how not to be a worm in the oil field here. If it'll load up. Not a very good sign if it's not loading up that fast for me here. All right, let's see.
On today's episode of How Not to Be a Worm, we're
23. This is a little bit old, apparently.
going to show you things that you need to beat the shit out of. BOP stud bolts, beat the shit out of them. BOP bonnet bolts, don't beat the shit out of them.
Don't.
Hammer union, beat the shit out of it.
Yeah, I hit quite a few of those in my day. The head bolts, the BOP bolts, I didn't deal with those because I wasn't actually on the rig. But when I was rigging up my equipment, I did deal with a lot of those. And I beat the shit out of them for sure.
For the safety man, I'll leave it up to you.
What? I'll leave that up to you, I guess. Homestead says it's 85% contained. Okay, so the bridge, what I'm pretty sure I saw it collapse. What is that? I'm curious what you know about that. What does that mean? This one's hilarious. This poor pup. If you've ever given your dog a lemon.
Ready?
The immediate look of betrayal on his face, like, what the did you just do to me? This poor pup.
You better.
He knows he's not supposed to spit that back out, but he couldn't handle it. Couldn't take it. I don't blame him. This is actually pretty funny as well.
Things that happen faster than building the California high-speed rail. China's entire high-speed rail network of
30,000 miles of high-speed rail network in China for 15 years. And in California, it got them 390 miles. Wow, they actually got 390 miles. That's actually fairly impressive. But anyway, 32 years to complete that after 30,000 miles in China. Holy sh!
30,000 miles. Our LA to SF segment would have taken them 2 months. Dubai.
2 months. Now, given that process probably would have been on a stick, but who knows?
Going from
30 years. It took Dubai 30 years. Only 30 years to go from complete desert, couple of buildings there, to this infrastructure that it has now. It's wild. Homestead says the wildfire has burned several thousands of acres of land and only 85% contained. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so that bridge did collapse. It's just 85% of the entire fire has been contained. I appreciate that update. It's a little concerning. Hey, JB, welcome in. Good to see you. I really appreciate the engagement, man. All right, so this here, let's see. So it took them 30 years from desert to in the beautiful infrastructure that Dubai has now, comparatively to California's high-speed rail of 32 years, taking it for 390 miles.
desert wasteland to barren culture wasteland. Timothy Chalamet's entire existence. iPhone 1 through 17 and the internet.
Internet. Follow for more bullshit, he says. Oh, man. Welcome in. Don't Call It Art. Thank you very much for the engagement. I bet it costs California about 100 times of the price to make that high-speed rail. Probably. Unfortunately. He does another one here, right here. This one's actually along the same lines. It's pretty funny. Come on, load up.
$1.2 billion California. Things that cost less than Newsom's $1.2 billion California capital expansion. The Golden Gate Bridge, twice.
Now, of course, that was inflation adjusted. So that is what it would cost today, according to the inflation of what it cost in that day. Now, more than likely, it's probably not the same because of the simple fact that things aren't made the same way that they used to be. Hey, Real Rain, good to see you. Appreciate the engagement, man. Chaos Theory, good to see you. Welcome in. I know you've been busy, so good to see you. Appreciate your engagement.
200 million In-N-Out burgers.
200 million In-N-Out burgers. This one's insane, though. How's all 10,000 homeless veterans in California for 4 years of rent for the same amount as it took them to expand the capital?
House all 10,000 homeless veterans in California. The original capital times 5.
Times
3
5.
Trump
3 Trump ballrooms, 400 million each. That's wild. I don't know if those figures are correct. Obviously, this is just his feeding me information, but this is hilarious. A little bit not sure exactly if it'll be funny for you guys or not, but I found it funny. If I can not boomer it up, as always.
I go through all this. I come to this country. I work, and go to Harvard. I see.
All right, here. Shut up! I'm filming.
How dare you talk to your mother like that?
So here we have our keeper
Your
cod.
mother in other room crying.
In other room crying.
She's crying because you say you know go to Harvard. Look what you do to her. I go through all this. I come to this country.
Anyway, all right. So I found those pretty funny, obviously. That's why I'm sharing them with you. Duh, right? It's good to see you guys. I appreciate the engagement and the views. And let's go ahead and get started on some things that I wanted to share. Now, these are kind of still funny along those lines. But yeah, we'll see. Some moms have it coming. Fair enough. That's fair. This is funny. I've seen this a couple of times in a couple of different ways, so maybe it's a skit. I don't know, but
I seriously think that this dude is following me.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I'm following you. I've been following you. You know why? We're on a walking trail. We came from that way. It only goes this way. Of course I'm following you. Duh. Fucking duh.
duh. Yeah, ladies, if you're on a walking trail, expect somebody to be behind you on the walking trail. It is bound to happen. This one's pretty funny. Let's see. Those women sticking together for the emotional blackmail. Yeah, right? I know, right? Speaking of sticking together for the emotional blackmail, it says, so when someone hits a golf ball in our backyard, my dad goes and lays next to it.
Wait for him to pull out first, and then run out in 30 seconds.
Wait for him to pull out first. Like, make sure he get the most emotional damage. Dude almost walks away. Like, oh shit, should I just walk away? What do I do? What do I do? Should I call 911? What do I do? What do I do? Was cackling background. And then the guy finally gets up. Is this yours? Ow, what are you doing? I don't even think he tells him. This poor guy thinks he actually hit this dude with that freaking ball. Like, funny, but come on, at least let him know. Let him in on the joke too, right? So that everybody can laugh. Now, I don't know who Speed is. I've never seen this kid before. Well, maybe I've seen him before, but I can't say that I've seen a lot of his content. But this is beyond hilarious to me. It says Speed fans are more crazy than him. This is by Rain Clips. I guess I haven't been saying who it's from. Anyway, this is funny.
What the hell? What is he doing? When you're spending
Oh man, better mute that. Poses by the goat. Oh man, that's funny. And then Speed just loses it. What the? Oh, that's funny. Anyway, all right. So we get into some of the topics that I want to talk about today. So I've covered John Steele last week. I want to cover a few other of his clips. They're fairly short. This one's 6 minutes, 31 seconds long. This one is beyond interesting to me as a male. Someone that's I've made sure that I haven't had children. You know, that's one of the things that I've been careful about. But also, I want kids. This guy is interesting to me. Not John Steele, but the other one.
Claim that 100% of abortions are caused by men? Well, this guy seems to think that you can. And on the surface, it sounds powerful, moral. It sounds like a slam dunk. But like always, as soon as you start asking some questions, because this goes from men caused abortions to the person who created cars causes car crashes. And that's the problem. If your worldview blames every man for abortion simply for existing, you don't just erase the woman's choice. You erase the idea of responsibility altogether. In this video, I'm going to show you how this just doesn't work. Show you exactly why it falls apart. So stick around, because by the end of the video, you're going to learn how these one-off catchy sentences don't usually have much depth at all. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Yes, don't call it art. Please drop it in the Discord. Free for all media probably would be best. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate the engagement. Good to see you. Hope you got your phone figured out or whatever you needed to do there. And Vash Schmidt says, yeah, put it in the Discord because I'm sure he'll want to see it. Yeah, we all want to see that. All right, we'll get into this.
Big Bad John. Hopefully that's
hey man, how's it going?
Comes up here. Big John, age?
I'm 34.
Dang it, I was hoping that Big John song was going to play when you came up.
That would be pretty dope. I would love, dude, I'm not going to lie. I would love if I could just enter a room and that song played every single time. That would be so.
I need to set up one of my sounds on my soundboard so that when I go into a room, I can just click the button and make me known.
So dope.
You could. You just got to have it like on your laptop ready to play.
So I just want to be
enter the live.
I just want to be transparent with you because I love being transparent. I'm also streaming on my own channel. Is that okay?
Yeah. Come into the room and be like. Sorry.
Awesome. All right. So it says pro-choice 100% abortions are caused by men all 9 months. What do you mean 100% are caused by men? What does that mean?
Well, actually, what do you think it means?
I have no clue. That's what I'm asking.
This is why this take is wild. All fetus deletuses are caused by men. I'm sorry, what the
Well, what do you think it might mean?
Yeah, JB, appreciate the reminder. If you haven't switched to all messages, please do so that you see everybody in the chat, and then you can talk back and forth and whatnot.
I have no idea.
So let's start somewhere small, right? And we'll grow. So it's like a half chub and then it becomes fully erect type thing. So
dude is wild.
100% of pregnancies would be caused by men having sex with women, right?
Sure.
Now, a woman doesn't.
So every pregnancy would also be because a woman allowed it to happen unless it's illegal. And then if that was the case, then it's illegal and there's a ground to stand on then, right?
Have to consent to sex in order to get pregnant, aka great babies.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
So, do you believe in great babies?
Like, do they exist? Yeah, they exist.
Right. So you're not denying grape? You're not like a grape denial?
No, grape happens, yeah.
Okay. So
what the fuck does that even mean? Sorry. Is there people out there that actually deny that grape happens? What the I'm so confused on that one, guys.
Essentially, if the woman wasn't pregnant, could she have an abortion?
No, she could not have an abortion if she wasn't pregnant.
John thinks that's funny.
So now you go ahead and put that equation and you answer it for me, okay?
Okay, so you're saying that they could not have a baby without a man, so therefore the man is causing the abortion?
Correct. They can't have an abortion without being pregnant. They cannot get pregnant without a man. 100% of pregnancies.
Quite the shirt he's got on.
P2, and here's the conclusion. 100% of abortions are caused by men.
Quite the background,
so
actually, now that I think about
it so much.
Yeah, so if someone builds a car, and then I drive the car and get into a car crash, are they responsible for my car crash?
He's awful proud of that shirt, too, apparently. Goodness.
That's not really the same situation.
Why not?
We're talking about women and pregnancies, not cars.
Yeah, it's an analogy.
I mean, if somebody built a car and it had a factory setting that was recalled, yes, I believe people sue for that all the time.
Not a factory setting, just a car crash, right? Like if somebody builds a car and I get in a car, and let's say I get in the car after having a few sips of a brewski.
So is that what you view women as? Is just like another piece of property, like a car or one wheel, a skateboard? Just Labubu wall? Like there's just nothing. They're just prop-
But analogies can be pulled so that you can understand people's logic. It is okay to do. Yeah, like this chatter here. It's an analogy, you doofus. Exactly. Voshmit, there are ways to impregnate a woman without sperm. It's science. Science. Yeah, right. Exactly. There it is. Now we can highlight it. Thank you, Vosh.
Pretty.
Not even close. Not even close. I'm
Not
not
even.
saying that the woman's the car. I'm just saying.
Then let's stick to women and fetuses or babies. We don't need to bring in property, right?
Well, the reason I'm bringing this up is to show you an issue with your syllogism, right? To show you like a symmetry breaker. So somebody could cause something. So for example, a man can cause a pregnancy. That doesn't mean he's necessarily responsible for the abortion that happens after. So for example, a man can cause a car to exist.
But a pregnant,
that doesn't mean that they're responsible for the other man driving it recklessly and getting into a car crash.
Right, but if they didn't make the car, then there would be no car crash.
So wait. So I think he might have mentioned it in the intro. John did, but now he's trying to say that it's because the car manufacturers that causes the individual car accidents. I'll have to keep that in mind.
So are you saying that every car crash that happens, the responsibility falls upon the person who made the car?
Not legally, but domino effect, yes.
Fair enough. Birds aren't even real. Appreciate the engagement. Analogy? More like verbal trichonology. Trichonology. Interesting word. On John Steele's part or on the other guy's part? Not sure. What's going on here?
So just basically...
Had they not invented a car, then there would not be a car unaliving.
Okay, so all things are caused by the Big Bang then?
We'd be riding horses.
So then all things are caused by the Big Bang then?
So don't use that word.
Which word?
Fair. That's fair, JB. That's fair.
The last part of that theory.
The Big Bang?
Yeah, so the word that you just said again. Just move forward.
What?
I love it when people have more followers than me than TikTok, but they haven't read the TOS.
You know what words are not in TikTok TOS? Subscribe to my Patreon, where you'll get access to our daily...
All right, that's enough of that.
But just move
I've
forward,
read
right?
the TOS. There's no words in the TOS that you can't use. Now there's specific words in that would be related.
Just move forward, please, for fuck's sake.
He does not want to talk about that. That's for sure. So if you're not part of my Discord, join my Discord. We do have like watch parties and all sorts of things that happen in that. So typically what we do on Sundays is we have a whatever watch party. We'll get into the Discord. Everybody has it playing in the background, so we're not, sniping the stream or anything like that. But how their chat just goes so fast, it gives you a little bit of ability to talk with people more personally amongst us in the community. But tonight we're planning on doing a Nick Fuentes review with the Crowder and Nick Fuentes. And so this was another Nick Fuentes involved video done by John Steele. And so I figured I'd cover it real quick and see what he has to say about Nick Fuentes being a racist here. That's racist.
To you. Well, I would
Mind shift clip. We're never going to get over that, are we?
say it's a new low. I've been attacked for being a racist many times, but to attack my father, to attack my parents based on anecdotes, I would say that's sort of a new low.
Oh, we're getting spicy here. Well, okay, he's saying it's anecdote. So is he going to say he didn't say those things? Let's see.
Hang on, it's your anecdote.
Yeah, but he's not here to defend himself.
You are.
And my parents are.
You told the story.
And I will. And I'll
I'm not trying to
I'll
ambush you.
defend
As I
them.
said at the start, Nick, to be clear.
No, it's not an ambush.
I don't think that's a low blow. If Nick Fuentes told the story and he's just repeating the story, I don't think that's a low blow because the context of what they're talking about is his upbringing. I don't think that's a low blow. I think that's fair play. If he heard it through the grapevine and then he brought it up, I think that'd be an issue. But if Nick Fuentes brought up this subject before and Pierce Morgan is just bringing it to fruition in the context of his upbringing and how it shaped him, I think that's fair play.
To be clear,
I think
I'm not
understands.
ambushing you. I'm literally reading an anecdote that you revealed on your podcast. It's you that's put it in the public domain.
I know.
I'm simply asking you whether my assessment of that, which is that your father didn't want to take you to certain restaurants because of what you refer to as, they were commonly known as black fare, whether that attitude to African Americans in that instance permeated to you. So
even in that interview with Piers, you can see that his shell is starting to crack a little bit here.
Reasonable question.
Yeah, no, like I said, I think everybody knows what that is, but I'll address it. I'll engage with it.
I have no clue what it is. Tell me what it is. What is going on here? Nick Fuentes, you're a racist. You hate black people and their food. What's going on?
And their food. Of course, you got to get the food in there. Because if you just hate the people, but you don't hate the food, then you're not racist anymore, right? Right? It's got to be the way, because then I wouldn't be racist. I'm just kidding. I'm not racist. I hate everybody equally, right?
How could you hate their food? How could you hate black people? Food is so good.
I'll defend my father from the charge of racism.
Sure.
No, my parents are not racist, and they've never been racist. I'll tell you.
Well, okay, let him elaborate.
About my parents, they used to have a school in Chicago in the South Loop where they instructed people on how to shoot firearms. It was a security school, and most of the clients were black. And I believe actually one of their clients was Larry Hoover's son at one.
That doesn't make you not racist, right? Listen, I want to know the story about why you want to go to black people's restaurants, if that's true. Because if the only reason you're not going to go to somebody's restaurant is because they're black, that's crazy. Listen, if you could bring up statistics that shows prominently in this time and area, black people were shown to not run good restaurants and have poor hygiene. And you could show a statistic for that. I could say, okay, well, that's fair. You're being safe. But if the only reason is because they're black, bro, you're being racist. And it doesn't matter if you ran a school that had black people part of it.
Yeah.
Point, sort of a funny story. And so most of their clients would come in from the south side of Chicago. My grandmother, she grew up in the projects in the city. And so my family being in Chicago, being ethnics, being Italian, Irish, Mexican, in the west side on Taylor Street, all over the city. My family for many generations have lived near and around black people. And look, my views about black people and their views about black people are shaped with experiences with black people.
Yes. So your individual experiences is every single one of them. Now, don't get me wrong. 13%, 55% of the population, or the unalivings and the crime rate. It's a hard sell right there, man.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but the way you said it, because I understand the rhetoric of what people are saying, right. But I'm gonna need you to stop. I'm gonna need you to stop. That's really out of pocket. Also, I still don't believe that the Jews run the world. This is something everybody keeps telling me. I do not believe that the Jews run the world. Also, what do you mean women need to stop talking? What do you mean by that? And I get what he's saying about the blacks. Hear me out. He's talking about the disproportionate crime rate. That's what he's talking about. But the way you said it, bro, it implies that what you're saying is that because you're black, you belong in jail. That's not the case. That's not the case. Tone it back just a smidgen for me.
Yeah. Again, I don't watch Nick Fuentes a whole lot, but if he's saying that black people basically deserve to be in jail because they're black, it's like saying that men deserve to be in jail because they're men. That's not the case. Everybody has a little bit of bad, a little bit of good. It's just how you feed it, right? Again, I'm not racist. I just hate you all equally, right? I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
That'd be great.
Would you like to clarify what you meant there?
That's all true. That's 100% true. Everything I said in that clip is true.
Including that blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, all of them?
No, for the most part.
What does the most part mean? What percentage
For
of American
the most
blacks
part.
would you like to see
I'm glad he clarified that. It's for the most part.
in prison?
Whatever the percentages of the murderers. I think it's 1 in 20 black men will commit a murder in their lifetime. So maybe let's say that 5%.
Oh, so you're talking about black people who murder people?
But I'm just saying, man, you could have used it in a way. You could have just said, if we put the murderers in prison, but then they would have called it a dog whistle. You didn't have to say the blacks. You could have just said the murderers, because that's what you actually meant. You actually mean the murderers should be in prison.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what color you are. You're unaliving people. You should be in prison for it. That's just a given, right?
It just so happens that statistically, a lot of them happen to be black. But what you really want is murderers. You don't want black people in prison. You want murderers in prison. So just say murderers, for the love of God. Tone policing is weak sauce, John. No pulling out. Not one step back. I'm not tone policing. I'm tone requesting. I'm not policing. Policing be like, don't say that. You're a horrible person. I'm tone requesting.
That. You just said
tone
blacks
requesting.
need to be imprisoned. For
That's what I'm going to start calling it. I'm tone requesting. That's wild. Either way, you're still policing it, John.
You were talking about black murderers.
Right. No, you're right. That's a good addition to that. That's a great point.
You think it's
Yeah, JB, I love everyone too. I'm just kidding. When I say I hate everybody equally, it is tongue in cheek. It is facetious. Because if you know me, you know I care about everybody equally. I care about everybody equally. But that does not mean that I have to like you. That's right. But I do care about life. I care about everybody. It doesn't matter what your religion is, what you identify as, whatever. We all matter, but we all need to get on to some understanding again of what reality is. And what reality is pretty simple. The laws of logic tell us what reality is. Let's see. Real Rain says, Nick destroyed Piers and Piers is still recovering. Yeah, I won't deny that Nick did destroy Piers because Piers is that pathetic of a debater, but you do start to see some cracks in his shell, in Nick's shell. Like I said, when he starts basically letting it out that he's racist and he's okay with it, and it's like, to a certain extent, I get it. They call you racist. What now? What? So what? What do you give? What do I care? What are you going to do about it? The problem is then you start getting into cancellations and things like that, right? People are getting back into the canceling idea. Birds aren't even real. It says, I don't watch Nick much anymore, but in my opinion, he just uses racist edge to push ideas into area he wouldn't normally be able to enter. That's fair. We all got to push the needle somehow, I guess, right? Whether it's good or bad. Don't Call It Art says, I don't even like half my family half the time. That's fair. I'm getting to that point, unfortunately. I used to love my family. Used to. I'm just kidding. Real Rain says, I prefer an honest hater over a fake nice guy. And that's how I view Nick. And that's fair. If he is legitimate in his standing. Unfortunately, online, everything in social media is fake, right? As we all found.
Funny? Or
I do. I think it's hilarious. I think it's totally true.
do you think a black American would find it funny? You think that blacks should be imprisoned for the most part?
To the blacks watching, do you find it funny? No, it's not funny. Funny but offensive. Nick is a heretic.
Funny but offensive. That's at least they can laugh at it, I guess.
Chicken sandwich to die for. What? Not funny. What if they're not American? That's what I'm saying. What if they're not American? I'm black. It's kind of funny, but offensive still.
You've also said you don't want to live near black people. Let's take a listen to this clip.
I'm a new generation of white person. I'm not living around blacks. Sorry. You know, I want white kids, and I don't want my white kids bringing home black people to marry. It's racial for me.
Oh, it burns. You got to be careful what you say, bro. I mean, I'm sorry, but that one was pretty brutal. I'm not gonna lie.
How's he gonna get out of that one? That one made my skin hurt. Listen, that's messed up. But
I mean, I don't blame him. I would like my own heritage, my own lineage, my own bloodline. I would like it to carry on. So I get it, but to say it out loud is interesting. Is interesting.
You know what else is messed up? Black people who say the same thing, that they want to be in black communities around black people and black culture, and they don't want no white people integrating. Like, it's just as racist. It goes both ways. Good luck digging yourself out of that hole. Now, here's the thing. Either all of it's okay or none of it's okay. If you can be in black communities and only date black people and be part of black culture, and that's okay, then white people should be allowed to do it as well. But I think both of it's wrong, right?
I don't know if I'd say it's both wrong. But I think that if it's going to go one way, it should go both ways, along with a lot of other things, right? the quality that people push for nowadays doesn't seem to be equal to the other side. Whenever you're pushing for equality, it always seems like you're trying to push for a little bit better than the other side. But yeah, so I'm curious. We'll be talking about that again in my Discord. So if you're not part of the Discord, join my Discord. I am curious on people's take on Nick Fuentes at this point in time. I'm going to be covering that interview. There we go. Potato. Draw a blank there for a second there. I will be covering that interview at some point in time, and I would like to get as many perspectives on it as possible, right? Nick Fuentes is becoming a very solid, I can't necessarily say solid, a prominent talking head for the next generation. So is it somebody that should be being allowed to have this much airtime? Real Rain says the reason why white people don't like Nick is because he says what more than half of them are thinking. Ooh, that's possible. That is possible. Yeah, I do have an Instagram too. I'm trying to get followers on my Instagram, on my X. I don't post a whole lot other than just share my streams, but I am trying to get to the point where I'm starting to post more and be more active when I have time.
Either all of it's okay or none of it's okay. Yeah, biracial marriage is good. I think that Nick's craziest philosophy. John has the right. Yeah, that's a crazy philosophy. I think. Listen, let's all just mix together. Let's just
seriously. Hey, Pharmacat, good to see you. Did you change your profile picture again? You don't have the moose antlers no more. I'm just kidding. That's a cute ass lamb though. Next to a cute woman too. I'm just kidding. Anyway, sorry. Nick is a lolcow, that's for sure. Nick is a lolcow, and they're using it to the best of their abilities, aren't they? Hey, Wi-Fi, good to see you. Why is Job on the screen? What? Why is Job on the screen? Oh, John. Why is John on the screen? Do you not like John? Is that what I'm getting, Wi-Fi? He's pretty young still into living in the meme life. That's fair. That's fair. He is still pretty young.
just whoosh, and then there's no more races. I'm down for that. Let's do that.
I mean, it couldn't be clearer, really, unless you want to say that's another of your jokes. But you're basically saying, yeah, I'm a racist, aren't you?
Well, in all honesty, I think everybody should be allowed to do what they want. If that's what you want to do, that's your life. Who are we to tell you you can't? I think it's gross and weird and wrong, but it's your life. If that's what you want to do, you should be allowed to do it. Would anyone want to live next to Nick? I don't know. I'm white, so he'd probably treat me good.
Probably treat me good. Beatrix, Nick is like Carlin. They have their followers. They don't need me, and I don't need them. That is very fair. Definitely don't need him. I'm curious if it's somebody that should be put away to the wayside, or how we want to go forward with people like him, right? Not necessarily just him, but people like him.
You're fine with saying you're a racist?
Totally. I think everybody's racist. I think everybody, if we're being honest, is racist.
To a small extent, I can agree with that. Everybody's a little bit. There's a little part of them inside, deep down, that, well, it depends on how you're defining racism, where you're just a little bit because you can recognize somebody who's a different race. If you can recognize that somebody is a different race than you, then you're a little bit racist.
The only people that aren't racist or pretend not to be are white people, to their detriment. Everybody else is racist.
So earlier in the
I kind of agree with that too. You talk to people from other who are not white, they got no problem cooking other races. But I think it's all in good fun. It's not like out of seriousness. I think it's like stereotypes. Like, what is a stereotype I said earlier? Black people cook better. That's racist. That's a racist thing to say. Am I wrong? No, but that's a racist thing to say.
Well, everybody's
but it's kind of true. They know how to season. Come on, let's face it. White people don't know how to season shit sometimes. JB, yes, it's a free country. Free choice has its consequences, good or bad. It's exactly it right there. Static Age Show, good to see you. Good to see you. Appreciate the engagement. Nick was the first one. Jesus, today is going to be a day. Nick was the first one on the right bringing up the H-1B visa issue. That's fair, Rain. That's fair. I do have to give it to him. He has been loud about his stance.
A little bit racist. You're right. So maybe everybody, the difference is you're attacking my father. You know, he
I'm
could
not
get
attacking
fired
your
from his
father.
job.
I'm not attacking your father.
You are.
No, I'm not. I don't know your father. To be clear, I have no knowledge about him at all.
Well, then let's leave him out of it. Let's leave him out of it if you don't know him.
Hang on, Nick. You put that story into the public domain on your show. I'm simply reminding you of what you told everybody.
Only seasoning I know is cheese. That's fair, Real Rain. That's fair. I don't have many seasonings, but there's more than just cheese. That's for sure. You know, sour cream, chives. What else goes on a baked potato? I'm just kidding. Anyway, racism and pattern recognition are different. That's very true and very good point, Dave. We need to start getting to the understanding that just because you are good at pattern recognition does not mean that you're basing it off of something other than the patterns that you're seeing in their walk, in the way they behave, in their mannerisms, those kind of things, right?
Millions of people about your father. If you now want to retract it, fine. If you want to say it was a joke, which is what your position was earlier, fine. But the idea I can't ask you about it without you saying I'm attacking your father is ridiculous.
I agree with Pierce here.
Well, you are, and you know what you're doing. And there's a political culture in America where if you have the wrong views, you get fired from your job. And my father has a job. And if you go on here and say you charge him with racism or something, and I'm put in a position where I don't look like I'm sticking to my guns.
But you did say it. You brought it up first. It's not like he heard it through the grapevine. He heard it from you.
So bless y'all's hearts. Isn't that like a derogatory term in the South or something like that? Bless your heart. You guys are all just stupid. Is that what you're saying, Kat? Is that what you're saying, Kat? I'm just kidding. Sorry. Sorry, guys.
I don't like the best thing you could do is say, hey, maybe I shouldn't have brought that up and I rather we don't talk about my dad. I think that's respectable. But you being like Pierce Morgan's attacking you for something that you said, I think is completely irrational.
If I don't say my father's a racist, you're putting him in jeopardy, and he's not here to defend himself or explain his views. And it's very low. And I think you know exactly.
It's not low.
Potatoes almost killed the Irish. Wasn't it a lack of food? Wasn't it the potatoes that saved the Irish? Wasn't it the? I guess I'm assuming you're talking about the potato famine, but I'm not really sure. But I don't judge all potatoes. That's good. I'm glad you don't judge us all for almost, unaliving people.
Just playing a victim here.
Let's just not talk about my father because my father isn't here. I'm here.
Okay, well, then do you accept that you shouldn't talk? Okay,
listen,
that's fine. But then do you accept you shouldn't talk about your father on your show? And you shouldn't tell...
Absolutely not. Absolutely
not.
So
it's fine for you to put a story out there which would make most people who listen to that story...
Oh, I see, Kat. I see. I'm actually wishing blessings upon your unseasoned foods. That's so funny. Yeah, see, it's lack of potatoes almost unalived him, not the potatoes themselves. We were the heroes. Sorry. Oh, it's going to be a day.
Or watched it at the time on your show, conclude that he was racist. It's fine for you to do that, but if I then ask you about it, I'm the one who's being unfair and I've crossed a line. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're being malicious.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Listen, people are watching this live. They can draw their own conclusions about whether what I just did.
And they will.
Yeah, and I'm sure afterwards, by the way, you'll say, he ambushed me.
Is Bert racist? I don't know.
No.
With your own words.
Whoa.
With your own words.
That's a little presumptuous. I'm not going to say it's an ambush, but I think that's a low blow. And I think you know what you're doing, and that's fine. You're a tabloid journalist. I expected that. I don't think it's an ambush because I knew it would be like this. And people will see what you're doing, and I think they'll say it's low. But as far as you want to talk about racism,
I do.
Let's talk about racism.
Okay,
let's leave my dad out of it.
Look, you've admitted you're a racist, correct?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Own it.
Okay, that's fine.
100% own it, he says. So again, like I said, he owns it. I mean, what are you going to do now that he's owned it? Not much we can do, right? But he is, in fact, a racist, I guess. So there's that. All right, so getting into some more of the actual conversation that the thumbnail is about and what the stream is about. So if you haven't heard, there has been a rollout of a government mandate of a kill switch. I don't know if that's a good word to even say, considering it's just a vehicle addition that allows the onboard computer, not the government, not someone who's watching and monitoring things, the onboard system to cut your engine if it feels like you're unable to drive. Now, I'm assuming this is going to be before the engine gets started, not while you're riding down the road. Right? I hope. Beatrix says, I feel like Tater's home state food is cheese and potatoes, a.k.a. funeral potatoes. Hey, I grew up Mormon. Give me a break. Potato supremacist. Wait, what? What is going on? Thanks, Farmacat. In England, they serve baked potatoes with beans and tuna that feels like a war crime against potatoes. Beans and tuna. Ugh. That sounds gross. Yeah, Brits are the ones who don't know how to season. Not all white people saying that is anti-whiteism. Yeah, right. Static Age. Farmacat says, "Hey, tuna steak is good. I have a freezer full from our fishing trip. Tuna steak, though, but he wasn't talking about tuna steak. He was talking about tuna, right? Tuna fish, like the ground up tuna. Which potato is the superior tomato? Or no, potato. Okay, it's the proto-tater, of course. We were discussing this in my Discord earlier. Sorry. Anyway, we'll get back to this. I'll shut up now. I know. Like the stream, guys. Please like the stream. All right. Enough of me.
Yours anymore. The kill switch mandate is real. I have been talking about this for years. It is now funded and it's coming fast. And if you still believe you own your car, you're already behind the 8 ball. And what you actually own is a permission slip for 4 wheels, a machine that watches you, evaluates you, and decides in real time whether you're allowed to drive it. Not a police officer, not a court, not even common sense. Instead, it's an algorithm. AI, yes. Believe it or not, this is true. And like I said, I've been covering this for years, and now it's here in reality. And if that sounds like something ripped out of a dystopian script, it's because we've crossed the line where dystopia gets rebranded as public safety. And our elected officials, they voted for it. The trigger for all of this sits inside the 2021, all the way back to 2021, Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. Buried in Section 24220 is a mandate that forces the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to require advanced impairment driving technology.
Yeah, again, this is the technology that's going to be in your cars, not like luckily someone's not going to be monitoring you while you're driving, but it's going to depend upon all technology. So if something goes wrong, you need to get to work and your boss doesn't give a about technology being your problem, what are you going to do? Let alone the myriad of other problems that this could potentially cause. Hey B, good to see you. Sorry guys, I've been getting the girl ready for her. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Graduation party. I can't believe I have a high school graduate. That is awesome, man. Congratulations. And the whole chat is saying the same thing. All right. So getting back to this.
That's how they hide it. In your car that's sold to you here in America, that phrase sounds harmless on purpose because
yeah, Real Rain, that's the thing is Beatrix, cars already have a property tax. Yeah, Josh, they already have a property tax. But it's going to become a lot worse when they get, and it goes further into pushing the electric cars and the self-driving cars, and you can be drunk, you can be whatever and still get into your car because it's going to be automatic. You don't have control over it. If you haven't seen the show Uploaded, check it out. I'll be here for a little bit before I need to actually get ready for her event. I appreciate it, B. I appreciate any engagement that I can get while I can. Real Rain says, I am talking about a yearly fee not associated with registration. Yeah, exactly. They'll be giving us more fees to drive once they get more of this stuff implemented. Hey, Leia, good to see you. Leia Bobea has her own channel as well. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Dave, come on, Rapture. Yeah, man, I'm so ready for
There's
it.
more to it. Because if lawmakers called it what it actually is, a federally required driver surveillance system with the power to disable your vehicle, there might have been a real debate. Instead, it slid right through.
We gotta. I don't know if there's any way to stop this at this point in time because it's slid right on through, like she says. We can't allow this to happen. And yet it's happening, guys. What is going on?
Here's what's coming. Cameras locked on your face, sensors tracking your eyes, software analyzing your behavior, your attention, even your emotional state. The system doesn't just look for alcohol impairment, it looks for anything it interprets as a risk. Are you tired, distracted, stressed? That's enough for the system to decide you aren't fit to drive. And once that threshold is crossed, your car can refuse to move. You can sit there with your keys, with your title, with your payment book in your glove box, and the answer is still no. You're not going anywhere. Sounds like a parent, but maybe it's much worse.
It doesn't sound like a parent. It sounds like a toxic relationship. Kind of like a lot of the things associated with the government these days. The government. What's the 9 most terrifying words in the English language? I'm from the government. I'm here to help. We got to push back on this kind of stuff.
This is the shift nobody voted for in plain English, and it's already happening. Driver monitoring systems are already in millions of vehicles globally. Europe mandates them. US automakers are embedding them. And this isn't theoretical. It's slowly being built into every new car. And from 2027 on, you're going to start seeing it. Every new car will have it. There will be no exceptions because it's a law. At the same time, automakers are pushing even further. Ford Motor Company has filed patents that read less like safety features and more like surveillance blueprints. We're talking about biometric identification, behavioral tracking, even the potential to integrate with external databases. If that doesn't scare you, there's more coming. Your vehicle isn't just transportation anymore. It's a data collection terminal with wheels. And once that data exists, it doesn't stay private.
And see, this is the problem right here is like she's talking about this is collecting data. Now, Bitcoin is data. That's how the Bitcoin was created. It's part of the internet. It's slices of the internet, data packets that are worth money. Your personal data, your advertising data, all of this is what creates the Bitcoin, what creates digital currency. And every time that we create more data, there has to be another data center that is going to be created because of that. Now, I've been doing a lot of deep dives on data centers, and we'll be talking about a little bit of that here coming up. But the data itself is becoming more and more stable, and they have redundancies after redundancies in these data centers that are these massive data centers, and they're not going to have as much space coming days. So what's going to really happen to our farmland, our water supply, our electric supply, like I'll be talking about here in a minute? Don't call it art. I don't know. It doesn't sound that bad, except there's always going to be mistakes, and it's always going to creep further. You give a mouse a crumb, and they're going to want a cookie. You give a mouse a cookie, and they're going to want a glass of milk. Keeps going. Jesse V says, nope, think of Jared on Silicon Valley when he gets in that self-driving car, right? What if you have a scarred, effed up face? Well, and that's the thing is like, there's so many things that could be interpreted as fatigue or something along those lines if it's up to an algorithm. Yeah, I was actually going to mention that. Vosh in here dropping the hard T. You spigots. What are you doing? You spigas? Almost sounds bad. Beatrix, the only thing the Uni Party agrees on is screwing the common man. Well, isn't that the truth? Small undetected engine disabled. Don't call it art. That's funny. That's objectively funny. I don't care who you are. That's funny right there. This law will get overturned fast because it'll be viewed as sexist and racist within 6 months. Real Rain. That's probably true too. I sure hope so. This is we can't let this ride.
In-cabin monitoring systems are already being used in fleet vehicles. Live feeds, driver tracking, behavioral analysis, and it's being sold as a valuable data to whoever wants to pay for it. Now, connect the dots. The government mandate means corporate capability. That's not an accident. That's an alignment. And here's when it gets even more convenient for everyone involved except for you. Congress is pouring money into this. About $45 million already allocated for research. Let's see where that money goes. With over $100 million backed by the Driver Alcohol Detection System for Safety program. I'll repeat that, the Driver Alcohol Detection System for Safety program. Don't you love how they use these names? Probably going to some NGO where money goes into somebody's pockets. Government and car businesses are not paying to install it in your car. You, the taxpayer, are paying for it. It's going to be in every car. And automakers, well, they'll comply. Then pass every dollar of cost straight down the line to you, the buyer.
And what's really bad is, we constantly talk. I'm pretty sure I've covered this last week, maybe even, how we've talked about just get an old vehicle. Just get an old gasser. Don't go to the electric. Don't go to a new car. Just go to an old gasser. Well, they've now upped the ethanol allowance that they can put in the cars, which is basically a solvent, and it's starting to eat away at rubber hoses and things like that, which makes it then more expensive to repair your vehicle than just to go out and buy a new one. At that point, you're forced to get a vehicle with these mandated switches, or whatever else they're mandated with. Like I've mentioned before, my diesel truck has the DEF, the diesel exhaust fluid. That diesel exhaust fluid has been known to crystallize in your tank. The ratio can be off and you be pushing more DEF into your system, which then basically kills your system faster than the old diesels were. Old diesels, you'd run for 400,000 miles, and it would basically just be breaking in. Now you're lucky to get 250,000 miles out of it, and that's a diesel. Not let alone the gassers. They're less dependable. Get a Vespa scooter. Yeah, Real Rain. I've been really contemplating getting a motorcycle or a Vespa or something like that. But the problem is with me, at least, is I work construction. So unless I can drop my trailer and have all of my tools in my trailer for sure, I have to have my truck. So a lot of the time I have to have my truck. Wi-Fi says, good thing I own all my cars, all my own car work to own old cars. That's good. I really wish I would have stuck with my older vehicles. I know how to work on older vehicles. I know how to work on carburetor, but I don't know how to work on the newer vehicles. And I don't have time really anymore.
Expensive vehicles, more complex systems, more opportunities for failure, and more profit margins built into something you never asked for.
But that's, again, the other thing is, as you have to buy the newer vehicles, again, my diesel that I have now has, it's got GPS, and it's got the rear camera, and it's got a push button tailgate. All of that can break. All of that is going to be expensive to fix, repair, replace, whatever the case is. And I didn't really have much of a choice when I was doing it because I don't make a whole lot of money to where I could just go out and buy it out and out without it having to finance it. So I had to basically take what I could get financed and have to have the reliability, not be putting money immediately into it, right?
That's the quiet part. The loud part, it's really about control, because once your car has the authority to decide whether you can drive, you've handed over something bigger than convenience. You've handed over autonomy. And don't expect a political rescue. Most of these politicians have bailed on you. When Congressman Thomas Massey, Scott Perry, and Chip Roy tried to push back, They exposed a vote showing dozens of Republicans and over 200 Democrats supporting measures tied to this mandate. They passed this into law. That's consensus. And consensus in Washington usually means one thing. The machine is moving forward, whether you like it or not.
And again, that's the problem is Republican and Democrat alike are behind the removing of your freedoms, getting you into electric cars, getting those cars more self-driving, and then this is going to push people into the idea that they want self-driving cars. We don't want self-driving cars. We cannot allow that kind of freedom to be stripped away from us. Exactly. Wi-Fi, make cars analog again. Get away from digital everything. Everything. Every time they roll out a new Wi-Fi 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, it always causes issues. We just need to stop. Be happy with what we have and perfect it to the point where it's not detrimental to people. Get shielding advancements, whatever the case is, but they don't care about us. They just want the bottom line. I used to ride to the job wearing my tool belt and a toolbox strapped to my gas tank. Used to ride to the job wearing my tool belt. Like what, on a bike? Strapped to my gas tank. No, okay, so Vespa. Vespa. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, Dave. Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Don't call it art. Only the rich will be able to afford the classic cars. Eventually, all cars become classics. Well, and again, yeah, the classic cars will be left in garages as show cars. They won't be driven anymore because by that point, we'll have the mandates in line that they can't have gas-powered cars on the road and all that crap. Would it be that bad if it lets less women drive? Jesse, would it be that bad if it let less women drive? Oh man, that's gonna be a hot topic. Beatrix says, yeah, the tailgate actuator is like 300, and you can't open the tailgate without it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's brand new. Just bought this truck, and I just had issues with the tailgate the other day. Had to give it the old I don't know, oil-filled fix. Pound on it a little bit. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
This is how permanent change happens, not with headlines, but with fine print. Not with public outrage, but with technical language most people will never read. And I've been reporting on this. Until it shows up in your driveway, that's when you get mad, when it's too late. We've seen these warning signs before. In 2017, WikiLeaks revealed the Central Intelligence Agency, or the CIA, have explored the ability to remotely control vehicles. At that time, in 2017, people were outraged. Now we're building systems that make that capability look lame and calling it progress. That's how they get it through. Supporters will say this saves lives. And yes, impaired driving is a real issue, but we already have targeted solutions like ignition interlocks for convicted offenders, which, by the way, there are over 30 different devices that stop drunk driving. So why add another? Because this is about universal monitoring. This is your car assuming you're guilty before you've done anything at all. And here's the question nobody in Washington wants to answer honestly. What happens when the system gets it wrong? Because it will. False positives, glitches, misreads, software errors, even placing drivers in dangerous situations. Every piece of technology fails at some point, and when it does, you're stuck explaining to a machine why you deserve to drive your own vehicle. Good luck with that. And
exactly. Well, and that's right there again. It's up to the machine. It is not someone that you can call up. A lot of things are going this way really fast, and I don't like it. So like I've mentioned before, I have Starlink, and yes, there is a 1-800 number for Starlink to be able to talk to their customer service. I haven't actually been able to get through to them because I haven't had time to actually call the number and see if I can get through to them. But long story short, their app is all I have really to go off of. And it doesn't give me any information on troubleshooting or what I should be doing to make sure that I'm getting the best out of my internet. So again, I'm here struggling with the computer to try to figure out my problem. Just like here, you're going to be trying to voice your opinion to a computer out in the middle of the desert because you turned your computer or your car off to go to the restroom at the rest stop. You get back into the car and you pull the wrong face at the wrong moment. And now your computer or your car is completely shut off. Won't start. For how long? And then what? How do you get it started up again? How do you prove that you're cognitive or sober?
Once the door is open, it doesn't close. If your car can stop you for impairment, what's next? Speed enforcement built into the vehicle? Geofencing, where your car simply won't go? Insurance companies tapping into your driving data in real time?
It's funny that you say that, Real Rain, just as she says the geofencing. That's exactly what she's basically playing out there. It feels like the first play into the 15-minute city. Unfortunately, it's not the first play. It's probably the 5th, 6th, 7th, or 15th play into the 15-minute cities. But yes, we are pushing, not we, I shouldn't say we, they're pushing for us to be in 15-minute cities, to be able to be controlled in those 15-minute cities. And this is another step toward that. If you can be controlled in the way you drive, how you drive, when you drive, why you drive, then you have less freedom. They have more control over you.
Law enforcement accessing in-cabin feeds. None of that requires a leap. It's the next logical step. And the groundwork is already being laid and can change with no notice. Meanwhile, your escape routes are disappearing. Older vehicles are being pushed off the road through regulation, parts shortages, and policy pressure. And the market is being engineered so that opting out becomes less realistic every year.
And that's the thing about what you were saying earlier, Dave. You have 3 classics. That's awesome. I'm super jealous of that. But if you drive those classics at all whatsoever, then you have to fill them up with that ethanol fueled fuel. Unless you know how to centrifuge it out or whatever, you're getting ethanol in your fuel, which is then going to deteriorate your motor. You then have to get new parts. And like she just said, they're being phased out. They're harder to get. They're more expensive. You're not rich now, which I would like you to be rich. Sure, I would like us all to be rich. But when it comes to the point where those have been completely phased out and you have to go to China to be able to order them, or the back alley Ford dealership, they're going to be extremely expensive. And then that's going to be when the elite, the rich, are the only ones that own the classics. And like Don't Call It Art said, everything is going to be classics at that point in time, because if anything is lasted that long, it's going to be considered a classic. Because that ethanol, because of the DEF, because of everything that they're doing additive-wise into your your gas. When was the last time that you went to the gas station and you pumped your gas and you're like, the smell of gas? Let that resonate for a second, because I can't honestly tell you when the last time. I can remember very vividly going to the gas station and smelling the smell of gas as we pumped the fuel into our cars. I haven't had that smell for probably 15, 20, 30 years. Not 30 years, it's being exaggerative, but you get what I'm saying. There's something going on with our gasoline, the ethanol, how much water there's being added to it, or just in the underground tanks, supposedly, forcing you to give your fuel other additives to try to get that water out. Heat, your fuel injector cleaners, all of those additives are there because of the additives that they add into the fuel. They're excuse me. They're building a 15-minute city in Utah. Are you serious, Beatrix? Where? If you have any more information about that, please let me know.
You won't be forced into this overnight. You'll just wake up one day and realize that every new car in the lot plays by the same rules. And that's how control scales. Slow, steady, and almost invisible until it's too late. To be precise, Section 24220 doesn't flip a literal kill switch today, but it creates the legal and technological pathway for systems that can absolutely prevent your vehicle from operating based on algorithmic decisions. And this is the law, not just an idea. It's already in place, and it will be for all new vehicles. Call it whatever makes it easier to swallow. If your car decides you're not driving, the outcome is the same. This isn't about left or right politics. It's about power. Who has it, who's gaining more, and who's quietly losing it. Right now, the drivers are on the losing end, and that is not about to change. And once the system is fully embedded, reversing it, it won't be simple. It won't be.
Yeah, we cannot let it be fully embedded. So I almost guarantee I probably heard about this when it was like being 2021. But there's been so much going on. This is how they do it. It's like Gish Gallops. They're the experts at debate. They're the experts at obfuscation of keeping you unaware of what's really going on behind the scenes, right? But they're throwing so many things at us at all at one time that we can't understand what's conspiracy theory and what's reality. And this, guys, is reality. It's not a theory. It is very much of reality at this point in time. We cannot allow this to become a solid thing. Where the old prison was in Draper. Ooh, okay. Thank you very much, Beatrix. I appreciate the feedback. I'll be looking into that for sure. Thank you very much. Wi-Fi says, yes, the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, issued nationwide emergency fuel waivers for the summer driving season, effectively allowing refiners and distributors to utilize a single national. I'm assuming that's continued. It's interesting.
Cheap, and it won't be quick. It'll be treated as an essential infrastructure, too big to remove, too normalized to question. That's how they do it. That's the real end game. Not safety, not innovation. Control baked into very machines Americans rely on every single day.
Yeah, there's the other one. Gasoline pool, U.S. Environmental Agency, plus these actions relax standard validity restrictions by permitting higher ethanol blends, E15, to be sold year-round while setting a common read vapor pressure standard of 10 psi. That makes sense. A lot of sense, actually. I forgot how much I like the smell of gas. Right? Real Rain? Yeah. 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 When I noticed that, it was like, it's wild to think that it's gone down that much in the last 20 years. It's kind of Rainbow the Wasatch Front is. Oh, how gay it Beatrix. Fair enough. Thank you very much for that. All right. Anyway.
And as of today, only a few officials are fighting on our side. Who gets to decide when you're allowed to drive? Because if the answer isn't you, then you don't own your car. You never did. If you like.
Well, we never did really own our cars, unfortunately, just like we don't really own our houses because we pay taxes on them at all times. Every year we have to re-register them, which is basically paying rent on it, essentially. I understand that they say that's for the vehicle roads that it drives on, but what taxes are we paying at that point in time? So with that being said, the switch mandate refers to a section 24220 of the 2021 Infrastructure Investment and Job Act. It directs the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to establish a federal motor vehicle safety standard requiring new passenger vehicles to include advanced drunk and impaired driving prevention technology. So again, this is technology. This is passive systems that either monitor driving performance, i.e. cameras, sensors, tracking, steering, eye movement, lane position, acceleration, deceleration, how fast you step on your brakes. All of that can be coming into effect inside of the vehicle. So all of that data is then going to be sold to alcohol companies, to pharmaceutical companies to get you more hooked onto those substances. They're not gonna just let it go to people who are actually gonna help you. Of course they're gonna sell your data to anybody that'll buy it. Of course they will. Why wouldn't they? And this one is really worrying. Blood detective alcohol concentration systems of above 0.08%. How are they going to do that? Are they going to have the blow-in for every vehicle? Is that what we're going to be doing? Or are they going to sit down and you're going to just breathe and it's going to just start to absorb the alcohol concentration, be able to tell you if your alcohol is over the limit or not? What is going on? So action. If impairment is detected, the system must prevent or limit vehicle operations, i.e. not start the car or gradually reduce speed. I sure hope this is reducing speed to get to the side of the road, not just reduce speed on the middle of the frickin' freeway. You know that's going to be what's going to happen the first couple times, though. This applies to new passenger vehicles. It is not a remote government-controlled switch. Again, this is not going to be monitored by someone that can physically counteract the system if they need to. It's going to be all done by passive systems. And the timeline, the original deadline for NHTSA to issue a final rule was missed around late 2024. As of 2026, the mandate is still active with no finalized rule or clear enforcement date, but is widely expected to apply to vehicles in the 2027 model year or soon after. Repeal efforts have failed so far. We have got to push back on this. So the goal is to reduce alcohol or impaired driving. But again, once they have the control, they're not going to give it up. It just doesn't happen like that. It's not how it works. All right. So we'll get into the electric and the data centers here in just a second. Bunch of gas. Yeah, I didn't huff gas. I just liked the smell of it when I smelled it. It wasn't like I was like, oh yeah. That's not what I was doing. It was just like, oh, that's gas. It's not bad. I've had gas leaks, so I don't like the smell of gas. Yeah, I don't like the smell of gas. I don't like the smell of propane, especially the rotten eggs, the smell that they add, right? California is trying to push a mile tax on cars. If that happens, I'm out of California. Yeah, I don't blame you there, Wi-Fi. I hope they don't get that pushed because once it gets pushed there, it'll start to creep over into the other states, I'm sure. Property tax is one of the legitimate taxes. I'm not as offended at property tax as I am at income tax. So as far as that goes, Beatrix, I don't like income tax, but I don't like property tax either, because if you're paying property taxes, you don't own that property. You're always paying rent on that piece of property. It may only be $1,000 a year, $100 a year, whatever, but it's still a tax. And if it's $100 a year, could you imagine losing your house, your entire property over $100? That's wild. I used to smoke. I was a cab driver and a delivery driver. I smoked and drove constantly for almost 20 years. Never got caught. Never had an accident. Just wanted to brag. Fair enough. Don't do it no more. Unless you're in legal state, I guess. Even then, don't do it no more. Don't drive. That's for sure. I agree with Tim Pool on this. If people had to save money and pay taxes in one lump sum, there would be a revolution. That's actually probably pretty fair. Propane is the bastard gas. Yeah, real rain. Yeah. Beatrix, I don't know why I went on a tax rant. That's all right. I'm going to take a nap. Fair enough. Well, I appreciate the engagement while I had you, Beatrix. Again, like I've said before, you're a real one from being around all the time. I really appreciate it. Used to. Yeah, don't call her. Yeah, used to. Don't do it no more. Good on you. All right, so we'll get back into the okay, so basically what it is in Tahoe, let me give you a little bit of background here. So Tahoe region is increasingly dealing with electricity supply and grid capacity concerns, but the situation is a bit more nuanced than lights are about to go out, right? So they're not having necessarily rolling blackouts as of yet, but they are having a concern with their electric wholesale provider. So we'll talk about that here for a little bit.
Will the Lake Tahoe area get its electricity? As always, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Alex Bell. That is the question, as the region's electricity unit says that its current source will no longer provide energy starting in 2028. ABC's 10's Becca Habegger has been looking into the power struggle and joins us in studio now.
Yeah, Alex, Liberty Utilities delivers electricity to nearly 50,000 California customers in the Tahoe Basin and surrounding areas, including the ski resorts. But earlier this year, Liberty informed regulators it has less than 2 years to find a new wholesale provider.
Tahoe is known for its natural beauty and great outdoors, but visitors...
Yeah, so I've never been to Tahoe myself. Wi-Fi, it looks like you live in Tahoe. So I hope they figure something out. And you don't have like the rolling blackouts like I've heard of other places. I don't know if you do already or not. I'm pretty sure it's California that has those rolling blackouts that I've heard. I don't know for sure. Anyway, long story short, I know that this is a big tourist attraction that depends upon electricity for a lot of things, such as ski lifts, boat docks, all sorts of things. So I'm curious on what they think they're going to do with this.
And locals alike rely on electricity to live, work, stay, and play here. That's where Liberty Utilities comes in. It provides power to nearly 50,000 customers in a service area spanning parts of 7 counties.
80% of that is the California portion of the Tahoe Basin.
Danielle Hughes lives on North Lake Tahoe just outside Kings Beach and is a Liberty customer. But soon her power will come from a different source. Currently, Liberty gets most of its electricity from NV Energy out of Nevada. But earlier this year, Liberty informed the California Public Utilities Commission, CPUC, that NV Energy will no longer be its wholesale provider starting in 2028.
And this is my problem I have with other states providing other states with their electric, with their power grid. So I know that a lot of states provide California with their power. Obviously, Nevada does. Other states surrounding them do. So what happens is they get their data centers that just demand so much energy in order to run, to keep alive, to keep us all provided with our AI and all the crap that we demand. Now, again, I do utilize this stuff, so I'm not necessarily one to talk, but we've got to start pushing back on it somehow. We've got to figure out a way to stop the rampant increase of the data centers, of the infrastructure that now is eating up the farmland. I live on the California side. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's across Nevada and California border. Is that what Lake Tahoe is? So it may be, but see, it's 50,000 or 49,000 people could be looking at this issue. So I'm not sure if you'll be impacted. Hopefully not. Hopefully they figure it out. It's still a couple years out, though.
Hughes worries the switch could drive up costs, disproportionately impacting the working class people who live here year-round.
But that's the other thing, is the fact that we are already seeing an increase in of electricity prices. Personally, I have solar panels on the outside of the house, but even that, I don't know how much I agree with anymore. But it allows the electricity bill to stay somewhat low. But even then, at times, we still pay an electric bill, which is wild to me. But as it goes up in demand, the price will also go up. So as all of these infrastructure of data centers get put in, it's going to go up. I had a video, I don't know if I saved it or not, but there was a video of a house, and there you couldn't see the data center, but it was a half mile away, and you could hear it in the video. You could hear the cooling fans of the data center a half a mile away.
She is the CEO of Tahoe Spark, a newly formed independent advocacy organization working to keep Liberty customers' costs affordable.
I have a forecaster that's actually expecting with this emergency procurement that we're going to be up to 60 cents per kilowatt hour.
60 cents per kilowatt hour. I don't know what it is currently, but I don't think it's that. So we're already looking at increases. Real Rain, didn't Cali try and push for only EV in the state? I'm pretty sure they did. And what's really funny about you bringing that up is how much of the climate change crisis have we heard about since the data centers are being forced, they're being pushed onto us. All of a sudden, the climate crisis went away when the AI crisis came around. And now we have to put up all these infrastructure and no worry about the electric provision. We're going to use that for coal and nuclear plants. They've got those planned out for years to come. But yet, until now, it was all the electric and all the carbon was a bad thing because it was being provided by oil. I heard the company is going to start concentrating its resources toward AI. That's the problem. Exactly right there. All of a sudden, climate doesn't matter anymore. Where we get our power from doesn't matter anymore. We just need to start focusing on AI. And it went from the climate change to this in a matter of a decade. Don't call it art. I'm investing in silver and in computer cooling technologies, but ultimately we need to move the data centers to space. Data centers to space. Be interesting. Better perfect our wireless transmission then if we're going to do that.
Which will be the highest in the country.
A Liberty spokesperson pointed ABC 10 to an FAQ document on its website, which says, while no utility can predict the exact future cost of energy, affordability is a primary goal in this search. But Liberty can't just turn to a California provider like PG&E. That's because the Tahoe area's electrical grid is physically connected to Nevada. With Liberty's rates overseen by California regulators, this makes for a complicated matter.
I need help from the state of California to figure out the policy issues, figure out how to create more resiliency within my system here in California, not in Nevada.
NV Energy tells ABC 10 its partnership with Liberty was never meant to be permanent, that this transition was NV Energy's plan for years.
Yeah, again, it shouldn't be permanent. It shouldn't be planned on being permanent because your state should be planning its own infrastructure, its own ability to provide its own power for whatever it wants to do. You shouldn't be looking for Nevada to provide your energy for whatever, because now Nevada has all of its data centers coming up. Vosh Schmidt, their justification is that AI could solve the problem. Solve it? Solve it how? Tell us how we're going to get more water. Tell us how we're going to get more oxygen from nothing. I know this sounds harsh, but when I hear California is having issues like this, all I can think is they voted for this. Real Rain, yeah, unfortunately, and they continue to wish for it. I mean, it's like we were talking, the videos I was showing at the beginning with how much they spent on the railroad, the high-speed rail, and the expansion on the capital, whatever. How much money have they spent on frivolous stuff, let alone this kind of stuff?
But other reports have linked the move to the explosive growth of data centers in northern Nevada. NV Energy flatly denies that, saying on its website in a post entitled Setting the Record Straight, the decision for Liberty to move to its own power supply is based on long-standing agreements well before data center growth became a factor. Data centers did not influence this decision. The CPUC tells ABC 10 in filings, Liberty said the data center demand did play a role in timing. Regardless, it's worth noting the increasing energy demand that a growing number of data centers is putting on northern Nevada, which has more than 30 data centers with additional projects underway. That's according to a new report out from Nevada's nonprofit Desert Research Institute.
30 data centers in plan. And I don't know exactly what all we're looking at here, but I'm pretty sure these two buildings, if not this entire operation, is the data center. That is like 2 Walmarts in my area, the size of that. This is phenomenal how ridiculously out of proportion we think this is wild. The wireless technology is already good enough, but cities getting their power from other states with wind turbines and solar panels loses more than half of the energy in transit. More than half of the energy by the time it gets out of the area, honestly. Elon Musk is going to own the new railroad system via SpaceX. Probably. All right, fair enough, Bosch Schmidt. Appreciate the engagement while I have you. And we'll see if we make it back.
Calling Nevada one of the fastest growing data center regions in the U.S., NV Energy is currently building a transmission line between Vegas and Reno called GreenLink West. Once it's complete by the start of 2028, Liberty will switch over to new energy sources.
Liberty says it expects to open a formal competitive bidding process this summer in the search for a new electricity provider. The CPUC has to approve Liberty's new supplier or suppliers. The switchover is expected to happen at the very end of 2027. Alex?
So, yeah, like I said, 2027. So, the end of 2027. So, you got a year and a half. They have a year and a half. I shouldn't say you, because you shouldn't have to worry about it as civilians. But yeah, so this is another one about the data centers. I'm not going to necessarily worry about it for right now because of the simple fact that we've covered it. But too many data centers are going in. They don't think that, but look into the water usage of these. They say they're closed loop, but if they're closed loop, then how much contaminants are being caused into the water supply? Where I do understand that they will argue with me on how much our agriculture uses with water. Agriculture gives us food. Data centers does not give us food. And the 3D printed idea is not where we want to go. With the idea of AI, and as we all know, I'm in the dating scene and the dating hellscape that we all see it as. This is Amala wagon wheel. You know me, I'm a potato. But she talks about apparently Bumble is implementing a new AI avatar. Process, experimentation. I don't know what they call it, but she covers it here. So we'll go over it for the last little bit what we got, or maybe some more after that. But we'll see what we got.
Guys, we all know that modern dating is a hellscape, but one company says it just might have the solution. What if you created an AI avatar of yourself? Then that avatar went on to date a bunch of people's other avatars, and then came back to you and let you know who your best matches are. Oh, we're still in hell? Well, let's talk about it. Yeah, you better. says they're moving in a revolutionary direction. Now, when I hear that from any corporation, I'm just thinking, okay, artificial intelligence is somehow being integrated into what you're doing next. And that seems to be the case for Bumble. Now, Bumble used to be this groundbreaking dating app because it allowed women to make the first move. And it essentially said, you're going to dictate the conversation, you're going to control your matches and who you vibe with.
Yeah, and it failed so badly because women can't make the first move. The first move that they make is hi. And then they completely freak out when that's all you give them when you try to make the first move. But then they say hi and they expect you to take over the conversation and make a conversation out of it. Anyway, long story short, it failed. So Bumble has now gone into something else different, right? They're trying to be different. They're trying to be streamlined. They're trying to be better than the other apps. And all they're going to do is cause people to not want to go there or cause more issues, more headache, more heartache, because you can't depend upon a system to know who you are. Even if you build that system yourself, it's not going to know who you are.
And that was not the case prior. Now they're saying their revolutionary move is AI. Not only are
Yeah, Real Rain. And that's just it. Is I thought, I'm not going to lie either. I thought the dating apps were dead. Like, who still uses them? Seriously, though. I do, because I literally live in a shit town that has no one that I want to talk to. But when I'm on them, it feels like they're dead. Now, I'm a guy, so I don't get any responses at all. I've been swiping on these things for fucking 10 or 30 years. I mean, obviously, you know, they're 40, so I haven't been doing it for 30 years. Again, tongue in cheek. But my point is they don't seem like they're worth anything anymore. Probably if you paid for them, maybe, but I'm a broke joke. The dating apps don't make money if you find your person. Never trust those bastards. And that's just it. Don't call it art. I need to get off of them, especially now, because there's nothing to them but the bottom line. And this is very evident of it. They're no longer going to be doing anything to help you. They're going to shove you into AI algorithm and see what it does.
they're going to have a sort of AI matchmaking system, but later down the line, they want you to be able to have AI avatars that date other AI avatars. Now, we get this in this like sort of strange corporate speak in the video we're about to watch, so let's get into it.
We are going to be saying goodbye to the swipe and hello to something that I believe is revolutionary.
Right.
Get rid of the swipe. So you build your avatar and it goes out and it dates for you. So you're no longer going to have any control over it. You're not the one who's picking your matches anymore.
I saw something posted on your Instagram this morning that Bumble is maybe getting rid of the swipe. Is that true?
Real Rain, what the fuck? A torta pounder. Oh my goodness, that's wild. That's a wild statement there.
We are evolving into our next chapter, and we are, synonymous with being the product where we put.
Seriously though, Voshman, I think they even actually mentioned that in this. I think Mala or somebody, I can't remember, but yeah, dude, this is Black Mirror-esque. Seriously.
Women in control. It's time for the next Bumble, and
I can't help but wonder if they took this from Black Mirror and utilized it.
so to answer the question, we are going to be saying goodbye to the swipe and hello to something that I believe is revolutionary for the category, and I'm very excited about it.
Wow. Okay. So if the app reset is coming in Q4, we should expect the functionality of how we say yes or no to a potential match to not be a swiping mechanism.
In select markets in Q4, the swipe will be gone.
Oh gosh, just like the corporate speak mixed with the reality that they're going to be like fully integrating AI into these dating apps.
It's terrifying. Yeah, Black Mirror is the only show I couldn't watch because it was legitimately scary. Real Rain, that's funny. There was a few shows. Well, I'm not a big horror fan in general, personally, but there's a few shows like Day After Tomorrow, and the like that I terrify me to my core. And Black Mirror was one of them because it is true, is too true to what we're really seeing happening with technology. And again, if you haven't checked out the uploaded video that I show that I mentioned earlier, check it out. Wild stuff, crazy idea that could possibly become true, right?
It's just absolutely insane just to hear.
In Q4, in select markets, I think we're going to be rolling out this new revolutionary AI system because, so many of our markets have been complaining about the loss of humanity in dating apps. And what we want to do is actually
strip and reduce and get rid of all of said humanity because they wanted more of it. So we gave them less of it. That's how we roll.
Strip dating of all its humanity by having AI control the matchmaking.
Are we insane? Okay. We all know that we're in the middle of a loneliness epidemic. We all know that people are meeting online more so than in any other format or place, if you even want to call it that. People are saying they're struggling to make matches. There's hookup culture and social media, which give you this false sense that you have a lot of options, when in reality, you don't have a lot of options.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing about the dating apps is you can swipe forever, right? They'll continue to give you matches because, like who was it that said, there's no money in making an actual match. You got to keep going back to the app. They've got to get you to keep going back to that app, whatever they've got to do, and so they keep you swiping. So no matter how far out they are, how far away they are, no matter how bad they match your preferences. And that's now. This is now. So imagine when it's going to be all AI and we have no control over our preferences, because you can tell the AI your preference, but if the AI deems it as racist or bigot, then the men, because we all know women are going to get throttled at all, but the men are going to get throttled, right? Let's see. Real Rain says, if you're feeling lonely, join an MMA gym. You'll have a new family after that. Or join the Discord. Yeah, join my Discord, guys. It's definitely better than getting your ass pummeled every day. Hey, Mrs. D, welcome in. Appreciate the engagement. Good to see you. And if anybody in the chat doesn't know, Rattlesnake TV is a good channel to check out while she's here. Always like to give them a shout out because they're good people.
And where Bumble was once putting women in control and allowing them to sort of dictate how the dating flowed for at least a bit, now we're going to allow computers to control what we do. And of course, she's getting a lot of pushback on this. A lot of women and people who are using dating apps in general are saying, we need more humanity, not less of it. And instead, maybe you could fix other issues that happen on your dating app, like help people make better profiles, do background checks on the individuals on your dating app, make it more conducive to one-on-one conversations where people are actually jumping off the app more to meet in person and to have human connection. But instead, they're stripping the
Oh, shit. Thank you, Mrs. D. I appreciate the feedback. Jake will be on whatever later today. You heard it here first. Nice. That'll be pretty epic.
human connection, and then telling you that this is human connection, which is just insane. Now, she did end up doing an interview with the New York Times where she gets a lot of pushback on this new Q4 select market framework. And here's what she had to say.
You can find a way to use AI to read your profile.
So is this AI agent that you build, is that going to go out and do the background checks for you? Is it going to build this perfect profile like Amal is saying? They don't need to be funding AI because, of course, whatever they put into AI then funds it for the company that's making the AI. They need to be funding their own research in order to give their customers what they're asking for, what they're paying for.
To extrapolate different learnings from you, like loves weekends in the countryside, loves to be outdoors, where AI is
because that isn't a prompt already.
Brilliant at these things is it can learn patterns in the other person. So what it can do is it can then scan thousands of profiles, if not more, and it can say, hey,
of things that they say. So you can say whatever you want to. Again, like we've talked about on multiple occasions, all social media is fake. So with that being said, how can you know what they have put into their profile is reality? How do you know once you've given that profile out to this AI agent, how do you know that it's not changing it? Because I'm pretty sure I covered on a different one where an AI agent went and smeared its programmer. Real Rain says, I don't understand this is new to women, but Donovan Sharp was talking about this years ago. Fair. Don't Call It Art says they'll probably use the avatars to match you with sexual. That's exactly it. That's what I'm afraid of. That's exactly what I'm afraid of. Yeah. Real Rain says dating apps algorithms would show men options they had no chances with. Dating apps algorithms would show men. It's possible, Real Rain. Am I being too cynical, perhaps? Don't Call It Art. I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm with you. I agree.
You know what? I think you should meet this person because they also have similar values.
What about serendipity? What about opposites?
Because even if Bumble isn't doing this, once they perfect this, then an AI agent bot robot company will find it and they'll buy it. Right? So like Don't Cut Art is saying, regardless of whether you're being too cynical or not, that's probably what's going to end up happening. Bumble will do it. Tinder will find it appealing. They'll do it, so on and so forth. And somebody will end up selling out to a bot company.
Attract. What about finding people that you would never think you had anything in common with, but it works? I mean,
so this is you're now touching on the other side of the coin of the argument of dating apps. Half of the people I've spoken to throughout my career that met on Bumble, they said I would have never thought I would like this person in real life, but there was something about their photo and I just swiped right. I don't know why, I just did. So serendipity will take on a life of its own. I think
you notice how she didn't answer the question. She's actively acknowledging that people actually went on her app and found people who don't fall within the pattern that would be recognized by an AI algorithm and went, you know what, I'm going to swipe on this person, and then they end up dating and creating a relationship.
AI is not going to be able to do that. AI is going to take the hard, raw data that says this is not compatible with this and turn it down. It's not going to have that. And females, I think what Rain, I think you said it was going to be outdated with the mandate. Same thing here, because women are not going to like it, right? They're going to realize that AI is matching them with me. Because it's got to do something. It's got to make its money somehow, right? So it's got to make the matches somehow. And there's a lot more women out there that are picky as hell than there are men. And so those women are going to be starting to be matched with men like myself, and they're not going to like it. Real Rain says, I met Lady Rain through a coworker. I think the return of random interactions in real life is coming back. I sure hope so, Real Rain. I've been trying to get out there and you know, get to know people in real life. Try to flirt, but I'm not a big rizzler. And so when I do flirt, it's very awkward. But I am trying because we need to get more out there and become more in real life.
Your AI system, which I guess they're now calling B, can it account for that? Can it account for the moments in life and the human experience that are truly unique, which is happening to all of us all the time? Us and ourselves we're all unique individuals, and we're meant to go out and meet in the real world. And we've already been stripped of that by the online space and social media and dating apps. Can you really melt it down further, put us into AI avatars, and then have those AI avatars date through pattern recognition and create successful matches? I'd argue no, but I guess this is the future we're going to see. Is the public going to sign up for this?
We can't we can't let this stuff happen. Like, we've got to start boycotting Bumble and the like that try to pull this, because like she said, we're already in a loneliness epidemic, quote unquote. I don't know if I agree with it per se, but it keeps being brought up. So maybe. But the answer to that is not going to be less personal, less person to person human interaction. It's going to be getting back to real world interactions. The family unit needs to come back.
Will people willingly allow AI avatars to date on their behalf? It seems like amongst young people, there is this massive aversion to AI that I feel like wouldn't translate to the use of an app like this. But I am consistently surprised by what we're willing to do and how far we'll go to engage with others without engaging with others. But let's close out the video and see what she has to say.
Opposites attract, but opposite values don't attract. I'm a firm believer of this. You can be completely opposite. You can like sweets and they hate sweets. You can wake up early and they can go to bed late. It doesn't matter.
So how are we going to set an algorithm to find those things? If you can go opposites attract, are you going to do the algorithm that opposites attract? Because I sure as hell don't want a quarrelsome woman. That's my opposite. So I don't understand how that's ever going to work in any shape, form, or situation. Real Rain says there's no AI solution to a spiritual issue. And exactly, that's just it. We need to be touching each other on a spiritual level, not physical. Gross.
These are lifestyle choices. These are quirks. These are personalities. I personally have never met a couple that stayed the course when their values didn't align. I mean, you can.
Okay, so let's pause her there. Now, she says she has a personal belief that people of different values and belief systems cannot have long-term relationships with one another because she personally has not seen that happen. Now, I think this has shifted over time in the US, where now more people are maybe agreeing with this particular mindset. And we're seeing on dating apps now, people specifically putting what their set of beliefs is, who they voted for, saying they won't date somebody of an opposing belief, but that is not the reality for all of us human beings on Earth and for all of our human experiences. In fact, 26% of couples would describe themselves with values and beliefs in mind as polar opposites. So now she's saying that her artificial intelligence system essentially is not going to account for the possibility that you could like somebody who is opposed to you. You could like somebody of a differing value set. And how is it possible that through pattern recognition, an AI is going to account for all the different possibilities that could exist within dating? Dating and finding love is one of the most unique human experiences that we go through.
Wait, what? What? Rain, what? Get me with... what? I know, let's get our tater with the panel versus tomato. Boom. No. That's heresy. That's blasphemy. No.
Through. It takes like all of our minds, all of our beliefs, all of our values, filtering through our own consciousness in order to make these decisions. And now they want to abdicate to AI avatars to allow them to make these decisions for you. Guys, we are in hell. Now I'm going to show you a graph here. This is how human beings, couples used to meet here in the United States. And you're going to see all these lines through friends, through family, work, bars, grade school, neighbors.
This is wild right here. 1980. I guess the internet came in 1980, but to see that it actually started in 1980 and it just shot up like that is fucking ridiculous. Through friends is the way it should have been always. The bar did climb there for a minute, but it has always been crap, which is good. Grade school in the 60s. They were getting with their grade school loves, I guess. Anyway, sorry.
Neighbors, college, all the way from the 1950s to 2020. And you see all of these in-person avenues of meeting somebody to date and to become a significant other, they just drop off in the 2020s as we become more integrated with technology and select markets for Q4. Okay. And the online line here, this red, and red for a reason, line starts spiking up into the 2020s. Now, do we need to create a separate line for you're not even meeting online, your AI avatars are meeting for one another? Like you're not meeting people.
No, we definitely don't need to be creating a new line for that. That's still basically online, but we need to get away from that idea. We cannot allow AI to be starting to make matches. Because, yeah, I'll bet you $1 to a dime that if they start getting that ability, then they'll start pushing the AI robots.
Period. This is so dystopian. And I just cannot see this being the future of dating. And I hope there's just a full-fledged rejection of this mentality in the select markets of Q4 because we cannot allow these companies to create an even larger hellscape in the dating hellscape that already exists. If 50%, over 50%, I think at this point, of young men between the ages of 18 and 24 are saying they haven't even approached a woman in person in the last year
in the last year, I think it's worse than that. I'm pretty sure it's like they've never approached a woman, right? I've approached maybe one woman. Well, no, I can't say that. I've approached maybe 5 women in the last year, but 5 in a year that I felt comfortable that I would like to try to start something with. 5 in a year in person. It's where I do agree that men need to get out and start actually pursuing women in real life. Women will agree with that because they want the pursuing and the attention. Women, you've got to be more willing to be approached. This idea that us worrying about catching a case has got to stop.
pursue her romantically or to ask for a number or to even give her a compliment about how she looks. What happens when we upload those individuals to AI avatars? We're struggling enough on dating apps and social media and with hookup culture and with the lack of third spaces. Now we're creating, what is this? Like a pseudo third space for your AI avatar. Black Mirror was a documentary.
Yeah. Like I said, she mentions that even in here. Freaking Black Mirror-esque, like seriously to a T right here.
What I hear a lot of people saying in response to this, and it couldn't be more true. I think we all just need to maybe acknowledge that dating apps are not the best way to meet people. And in acknowledging that, also acknowledge that AI is not going to be the solution. And while AI can have many uses and many different places in our society, and it is inevitably going to, maybe the space of dating where we need the most human connection possible is not one of those places. Because
all right. So, yeah, either women can be nicer about rejecting men or men can stop giving a shit if their approaches are wanted or not. And that's just it. Don't call it art. I'm getting really tired of going up to a woman and her going, really? You think you have a chance with me? Well, if you want to be approached, then you're going to have to be approached by the ugly men too. And I know I'm ugly, so it is what it is. Wi-Fi. I'd hit this girl by saying how much I love her Rihanna forehead. I'd hit on this girl. I see. Well, she's married. I'm pretty sure she's expecting a kid, so there's that. Divorced my wife in 2015, single ever since. Got land and a house, 2 paid for vehicles and toys. Never been happier. That's awesome, JB. Pretty jealous. I've never actually been married, so I don't know, Real Rain, why don't they use AI to get hookers off their apps so men feel safer using them? For real though. Seriously, use AI for the benefit of the people that are on the app, and get the bots, get the hookers, get all of the crap off of the dating site, so that when I actually get a woman that's responding to me, I can be fairly certain that it's a woman, not bullshit trying to scam me or something like that. You like that freeze frame, did you? Would you like to have drunk? All right, so I think that pretty much wraps up my stream. I don't really have, I have other subjects that I can talk about, but nothing necessarily that I can would want to start this late. But I appreciate your engagement, guys. As always, take care of yourselves out there. Remember those Second Amendment rights within the United States, right? Your response time will always be faster than that of the police, and I want to keep you all around. Please leave your comments in the comment section below after the live has uploaded. It does help the algorithm a great deal. As always, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that more than I will ever be able to tell you. Outside of the United States, please take care of yourselves the best way that you know how. And as always, Christ is God, the King of Kings, and always will be. And does look like Jake will be on the Whatever podcast tonight. So if you'd like to check that out, tune into that. We'll see if we want to do the Nick Fuentes reveal or watch party, or if we want to do the Whatever watch party with Jake being on that. But we'll see what happens. As for right now, I guess I'll wrap up and get out of your guys' hair. Made it back in time for the wrap. Yeah, I guess so. Again, guys, I can't tell you how much I appreciate the engagement that I get from you guys every time. And take care of yourselves, okay?
You were there when the lights went dark, holding broken pieces of my heart. Working late and waking up too soon, still somehow you made the whole house bloom. Every lesson written in your eyes, every truth wrapped up inside your sacred